Hi, I'm Sheridyn Fisher and this is BillyBluRay. Former Monty Python alum Terry Gilliam is no stranger to difficult films. From his infamous studio war over Brazil to his comically cursed passion project The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. So it's no surprise that Gilliam's latest film also had a difficult birth with the tragic death of leading man Heath Ledger, who passed away during production on the wildly surreal The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Nope, my dear, did you not read our sign? We're here to give, not take, my darling. But nevertheless, I can see from your beautiful eyes that you are a very, very generous lady, and I applaud you for that.
Excuse me, but how does this work? What does it cost?
Cost? No, the Imaginarium does not cost a thing. We're not here for money.
How long does it take?
Well, that depends, my dear.
I'm running late.
Oh, late for a very important date. Gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in my life. Listen, can I ask you a question? Do you dream? Or should I say, can you put a price on your dreams?
But in typical Gilliam fashion, the oddball writer-director rallied with the help of some famous friends, the nanny-banging Jude Law, all-round nice guy Johnny Depp and Irish playboy Colin Farrell, to create a delightfully strange, subtly threatening visual extravaganza, an eccentric love story populated with eclectic characters. In fact, Gilliam's world of Dr. Parnassus relies just as much on its visual brilliance as it does on Gilliam's script to create a bittersweet narrative.
I think this is fun. There are so many temptations. Maybe just a peek.
Turning!
Oh, how gorgeous. God. I say, gorgeous.
Dr. Parnassus manages to offer up an exceptional high-def experience. Gilliam's pastel palette for the Imaginarium is simply breathtaking, while the more naturalistic real-world scenes are delivered with a crisp, expertly rendered 1080p transfer. And thankfully, an equally multi-layered DTS HD lossless soundtrack also gives your ears a satisfying glow of Blu-ray goodness. Now, if you're like me and like to get into the nuts and bolts of movie making, you're in for a treat, as Gilliam provides an array of insights into his own distinctive brand of fantasy. Starting off with a special intro to the film and a fact-filled director commentary. And, of course, the late great Heath Ledger gets a mention in the series of mini-featurettes looking at his contributions to the film. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus isn't an easy film to categorise, but having said that, it's definitely a trip worth taking. And speaking of trips, imagine having a job where you fly around the country telling people they've been laid off because their boss is too spineless to do it himself. You'd either have to be a humper or an angel to pull that off on a daily basis. Well, that's the premise behind Up in the Air, the Academy Award-nominated flick from director Jason Reitman and starring George Clooney as corporate downsizing expert Ryan Bingham.
Again. Fire me again.
I just did.
Actually, you didn't. Fire me.
That's enough. I think we get it.
Mr. Bingham, I'm here today to inform you that your position is no longer available.
I'm fired.
Yes, you're fired.
Never say fired.
You've been let go.
Why?
This is a mythical situation. How could I possibly know why?
Why doesn't matter. You never know why.
It's important not to focus on the why and rather to spend your energy thinking about your future.
Well, I'm going to spend my energy on suing you unless you give me a good reason why you're firing me.
Mr. Bingham, the reason's not important.
So you're firing me without grounds. Now I really have a lawsuit.
I get what you're trying to say, Ryan.
Don't take this personally, Mr. Bingham.
Personally, this is the most personal situation that you are ever going to enter. So before you try to revolutionize my business, I'd like to know that you actually know my business.
Calling this flick a rom-com isn't exactly hitting the mark, as most of the film is centred around failing relationships and middle-aged narcissism. But What it does offer is a genuine funny look at those unexpected instances where two people connect. It's a celebration of the little moments before you start piling on the baggage and getting all sign-filled neurotic. It's sweet without being sappy, funny without being crude, and sexy without being crass.
How can you not think about that? How does it not even cross your mind that you might want a future with someone?
It's simple. You know that moment when you look into somebody's eyes and you can feel them staring into your soul and the whole world goes quiet just for a second?
Yes.
Right, well, I don't.
You're an asshole.
With a support cast that includes Jason Bateman, Twilight alum Anna Kendrick, and the cougalicious Vera Farmiga, not to mention cameos from J.K. Simmons, Danny McBride, Zach Galifianakis, Sam Elliott, and Young MC, Reitman's directorial follow-up to Juno is a beautifully crafted comedy that touches you in all the right places. And a couple of awkward ones.
Bingo. Asians.
You can't be serious.
You never get behind people traveling with infants. Never seen a stroller collapse in less than 20 minutes. Old people are worse. Their bodies are littered with hidden metal, and they never seem to appreciate how little time they have left on Earth. There you go. 5 words, randomly selected for additional screening. Asians. They pack light, travel efficiently, and they got a thing for slip-on shoes, God love them.
That's racist.
Unlike my mother, I stereotype.
Well, that's all your Blue reviews for this week, but be sure to visit BillyBluRay.com.au for this week's great specials.